Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement and a very special Daredevil finale edition of My Mom's Basement with the boys. We're also recapping the boys. It's Robbie and Clem, as always. And this is episode 499.5. Yep. Every now and then things line up like Fantastic Four. When we recapped that, it just so happened to be episode 444 of the podcast. Every now and then, the stars align. For this one, the stars didn't align, so we're making them align. Episode 500 will be The Mandalorian and Grogu.
We're doing it for Baby Yo. And anyone who has a problem with that, you look in Baby Yo's big black eyes, which you would say black eyes usually like a doll's eyes, lifeless. But no, those eyes are full of life, those beautiful black eyes. So we're doing it for the kid. You can't ever get mad if you're doing it for the kids. Also, that's the reason why it's only a very special episode. You would think Daredevil finale higher than very special. However, you can't have anything more than very special was the most we could do on the meter with it being a 0.5 episode. So we're going to blame the 0.5 for that.
I don't want to blow the load on adjectives, all right? There's a lot of time left in the year where we're going to have very, very, very special episodes. This is a very special one. The Daredevil finale, huge. Everyone was talking about it on Twitter, even though the viewership was apparently down. My whole timeline was people talking about it. And the boys. I even had Glenny Balls texting me about the boys this week. He's catching up on the season. People are getting ready for the finale. It feels like things are ramping up. Powder keg.
Yeah, the powder keg was completely lit and exploded. The balls factor is like an X factor. When Balls is texting you, it's like it's reached another level on the meter as well, for sure. And like you said, we know Mando review is going to be higher than very special. We have like 6 movies coming out. I was just going through every month. I was thinking about doing one of those, unlimited movie things because I'm like, I'm going to have to watch a bunch of movies, plus a few I just want to watch on my own. And I'm like, I think it's coming pretty quick here in the next few months, Bob. It's going to be busy times in the basement. But we're going to be leaving the streaming realm for a little bit, which is nice. And we're going to be doing big theatrical releases.
Although next week we're right on to Punisher, One Last Kill or whatever. His special comes out. And then we'll wrap up with the boys, and then you'll go back to nerd news episodes on My Mom's Basement. We'll get the occasional movie, and not more than occasional this summer, I guess. But yeah, things are gonna slow down a little bit, I think, in terms of we're not gonna be asking our listeners to watch like 3 hours of television to understand our podcast a week,
unless some of these shows come out with some more secret episodes because we finally got it, Bob. We finally got it.
We finally got a secret episode. I'm at UFC Media Day. Clem texts me, secret episode. Oh my God, it's The Bear. They went and recorded like a whole episode between Eben Moss-Backrack and John Bernthal. Lady Fox is on a work trip, so I haven't even watched the secret episode. I was like, I'm saving it for you. We both love those 2 actors. We both just saw them on Dog Day Afternoon. So I was like, God damn, the first time we get a real secret episode from a show that I love, it's going to be a week after the secret episode comes out by the time I watch it.
And I'm only halfway done with it because the wife is here, but we have Knicks playoffs and just life. We have kids going around. We have spring sports. So we only got an episode, half episode, because then obviously we watch the boys together because we have a timeline where we have to watch it together. I will say this: I've watched half an episode. The Don hit me up, Dante, and was like, he was the one who got me into The Bear. Him and Rico writing blogs about how The Bear was a must watch after season 1 finale. They wrote them and submitted them within 5 minutes of each other. I'm like, I've never heard of the show. I guess I have to watch it. So he got me in. He goes, Clem, how is Gary? So it's about, Michael and cousin going to Gary, Indiana to do some stuff. And I said, dude, I've only gotten halfway in. I will say this. From what I've seen so far, I can understand maybe they shot it and we're like, maybe with the final season, we have so many things we have to tie up. I don't know if it would fit there. Or they might have just been like, hey, let's just do a secret episode, have some fun. I just enjoyed it. And I don't know the second half, how much it advances the story or whatever, but it is like some of those other flashback episodes where you get kind of an insight on the characters. And dude, I just love those 2 characters. That's the biggest problem with the Bears. It's not a problem, but it's just such a bummer that Michael, his death obviously gets the events of the show going, but I just love Bernthal as Michael. So we're going to have him as Punisher too. So 2 very different sides of the coin. For sure.
And the more they show of him in that show makes it all the more devastating. Like you understand the grief all the characters have more when you see him in action and where it's like, oh, he was the fucking man. Like he is the guy that you just want to drive to Gary, Indiana with or whatever. Like I'm excited to get into that for sure. Also, quick basement keeping. The Mall Shadow Lord finale also came out this week on May the 4th. We did our weekly recap of that as well. That's YouTube exclusive. So go check that out. The final quick hitter on that, along with Batman Returns, our Super Critics episode this week. That is also on the channel now. And our May the 4th special with TOT Star Wars. That one is doing great. Shout out to the TOT Star Wars boys for collabing on that. The people are loving it. The comments are so positive. It's very nice and wholesome to read. Everyone just enjoying a couple guys chopping it up about Lego Star Wars.
I actually, Bobby, you set me up for it. As someone I wanted to say one of these episodes, I just want to shout out our people too, because our fans, just a good group and just positivity. I love seeing the comments, tweets, everything. And let's just say at Barstool sometimes, I've realized a lot of it is because, like, if you're rooting for another sports fan, you're like the enemy. You just get mean shit just randomly tweeted at you. But we got such good vibes in the basement right now, man. So shout out to all
they shock Clemmer week in and week out. Like, Clemmer is like, your fans are the most positive people in the world. Like, all of the comments, they might not be the biggest shows, but we do have a pretty great approval rating among the basement boys and girls, which I'm very proud of. Everyone's so positive in our comments all the time, and I love that.
We may not be the biggest, but we might be the happiest, which in the grand scheme of things in life, that's what it's all about. Because you know what? In 100 years, none of us are going to be here, but it's about the time you spend.
Yeah, well, who knows? There's immortality being talked about in The Boys. Dave might get that V1 one of these days, and he'll be immortal on the internet.
I could definitely see if I could definitely see Portnoy getting V1 if it was a real thing. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, we'd go on a hunt for him. Go press go. I want him to be around forever because the longer he's around, the longer we're around.
I remember Dave. I talked to him. He's like, dude, as long as I own Barstool, you'll have a job here. And he said that before the Penn deal happened. I don't think he knew he'd be getting Barstool back, but I think the way it's all shaken out, he pretty much has to own Barstool for Barstool to live. So, thanks, Dave. Thanks for the V1 job for life. We love you.
All right, let's get into Daredevil Born Again, the season 2 finale. This was hyped up. We heard, everything ramps up to this massive conclusion. We were getting excited talking about last week how it flips everything like poetry. It rhymes, where we're building up to a big courthouse scene. What I didn't realize is we're not just building up to that. The first half of the episode takes place in the courtroom drama dynamic, and then you go full action as well on the last half of the episode. This had a little bit of everything, and I thought it was fucking awesome. I didn't even text Clem about the episode this week because I was like, I didn't know if you were going to watch it night of or the next morning or whatever, so I didn't want to do the thing where I'm like, oh my God, it's awesome, and get your hopes too high. But did you think it was as great as I did? Because I would say no notes, as Nick Hamilton tweeted. No notes.
It was legit, man. They hit the 100 miles per hour. We got everything we wanted, and we set up for another season. I was very happy. Maybe I just went in like feeling like they were just going to stick the landing, which, I mean, again, let's be honest, that was not something we felt about Marvel shows probably about a year ago at this time. So the fact that this show is at the point where I feel like they're going to do well by it, that's as bad as
they've built that trust back.
I can give them. Yes, exactly.
This was so friggin' great. Let's just start at the beginning and go through it. It opens with such a great shot of Matt and Karen on a date, and they go into this restaurant, and it's got all the lights that we've seen before, and then it flashes to her in the courtroom. And I thought that, like, gut punch to start the finale was really good. Then Jessica's patching Daredevil up because he got shot. I called the guys stormtroopers last week, and they were like, we just want to hammer home. We did hit him. We hit him at least once. And Kingpin looks pretty shook when Buck walks in and tells him, hey, he did not bring BB as promised. I thought that was an interesting, like, almost crack in the armor where Kingpin definitely had a fondness towards Daniel. And when Buck shoots him that look of like, no, you know what I did? It was kind of like a shook look he gives him. And Buck says, do you really want to do this? Kingpin says, yes. And you go into the plot of the episode from there, really.
First of all, I had to look this up. I meant to ask you if you knew about this restaurant with lights. I'm like, this has to be a real thing. I don't know anyone who could create it. Did you look it up?
I think they use it. I didn't, but I'm pretty sure they use it in Birdman as well.
Oh, well, it's called All of the Lights at Panna 2, Panna 2 in New York City. Bob, I think you're going to have to make a pilgrimage down there to just experience Indian food. I don't know if you're an Indian food guy. I don't know.
I can fuck with Indian food for sure.
Okay. So there you go. So I
little
mean,
little garlic naan. Give me a little chicken tikka masala, right? Is that what it's called?
Definitely get that with some naan. And yeah, I believe so. And I'm looking at it. There's some flags up there as well, and just a whole bunch of lights. I loved it. I thought that was such a cool looking scene, and about as opposite as you can get from the sterile view from a courtroom as your freedom is on the line.
So Matt shows up during Heather's testimony. Kirsten brings up her striking Karen. That was good when she was like, did you strike Karen? Whatever. And then Matt like hits her with a boom roast as well. We see what looks like Bullseye setting up in a Lee Harvey Oswald fucking setup, like in a perch. And I was immediately confused because the anti-vigilante task force is with him. And I'm like, the fuck's going on here? Someone's behind him. Is that one of our guys on the inside just wearing a disguise, New Hope style? Like, what's happening? They loop it back around at the end, where not at the end, like a couple minutes later, where that is not Bullseye. It's a decoy Bullseye that they planted there we're doing double crosses and turns and decoys and duplicates. But I was happy for real Bullseye to come in, kill this dude, and then get on with that. That was a little Dark Knight-ish as well. When it's like the wrong guys in the window, the little timer goes off, ding, pulls up.
Bob was just about to say it. I didn't even have to say it. That's the kind of, me and you running the pick and roll. We don't even have to call the play anymore. We just give each other the look. I was saying, there's like a movie where it's up in the window and the assassin's up there.
Such a good scene.
Such a good scene, bro. Such a good scene.
So Matt calls in Mayor Fisk for testimony. And as soon as they did this, I was like, oh, they are cooking. I love this. Putting Fisk on the stand. And the task force shows up in numbers. Fisk actually hits one of his signature lines, when I was a boy. He loves talking about when he was a boy. When he was
Did you do
a
it?
young boy.
Did you do the point?
I did do the point, though. I was like, when he was a boy. And Matt wants to play Christophe's testimony in front of the courthouse and Kingpin to prove that obviously what happened on the ship is not the way Kingpin is saying it is. And they bring it into the side room. I don't know what they call that in a courthouse when they're like, hold on, we got to like
deliberation room, right? It's something like, or my chambers, right? See me in
my chambers. The chambers. Yeah. The judge brings them to the chambers. And I loved this because Fisk starts talking to Matt Murdock while he's in the chambers. And it reminded me so much of the first Superman movie with Gene Hackman talking to Superman, knowing like, I'm the only one, he figures out the transcode or whatever to like get through to him. He's like, I'm the only one that can talk to you right now. You can hear me, whatever. That felt like a direct like Superman homage to me, the way it was shot and everything.
I didn't even think about that. As we're talking about judges' chambers and coming up with the terms, remember when we first started Daredevil and we were like just guessing legal terms, and some of them we nailed and some of them I think we were way off. So
it was basically the Ted 2 scene of us being like, objection, overruled, sustained.
I have to admit, even the haters have to say that boy Kingpin comes in a courtroom. That's Aura right there, right? And a lot of the interactions they had, and I guess part of it is the way it's probably shot, and then part of it probably is just my brain putting the two together. But you could see that in a comic book, right? When he's just going back and forth, you'd have the close-up of him with the little microphone there, and they're going back and see the little, when it's the word boxes, they don't even use the bubbles and stuff. That's the kind of stuff I was thinking of when Kingpin was in the court.
And I was thinking of A Few Good Men, because while he starts interrogating Kingpin, I watched A Few Good Men for the first time because of Daredevil Born Again season 1. I was like, damn, I love courtroom dramas, I think. Let me watch like the classics that I haven't seen. I watched that. Shout out Rob Reiner, rest in peace. And I was blown away, of course. Such a great movie. In this, he kind of goes full Few Good Men on Matt, like after Jessica walks in with the governor and everything. And Matt starts hinting that he's going to reveal himself. He's like, I know who Daredevil is. We both know who Daredevil is. There was someone on that ship that can corroborate the story and everything. And Kingpin hits, you are a fool. And he says, no, I am not. Turns around, I am Daredevil. Bumped the fuck up. That was such a good reveal. To do that reveal, and we've gotten great ones in the MCU. I Am Iron Man is one of the most iconic movie endings a comic book movie's ever had. To get that and have it hit as hard as it did in this episode, I thought that was fucking awesome.
Yeah, my dog Tony Stark, he brought it back, and I'm sure a lot of people saw the parallels with that. again, there's two people. There's Matt Murdock and there's Iron Man. Our boy Matt Murdock was cooking in that courtroom, boy. I didn't know you could bring a big old cast iron pan and just fucking cook. Like, he was whipping up a souffle and then drops that. I love the court scenes. Listen, I think if it wouldn't probably be the Daredevil fans who watch the original series, even though it might be the case. I don't think so. People could be like, I don't see enough Daredevil, but I think the court scenes are so fucking good when they're done like this. You can't complain. And Bob, I do remember you watching Few Good Men because of Daredevil. And I think we had this conversation. You've seen My Cousin Vinny, right?
Oh yeah.
Because
Grandma Fox's favorite.
I think I went on like a three rewatch binge of that movie, like after we had discussed all the courtroom stuff, because I love that. Might be in my top. I think it's in my top 10. And my kids once came in when I was watching it, and my daughter will still say, like, your cousin Vinny is in this movie, talking about Joe Pesci, who's also obviously in Home Alone, which is an absolute linchpin of this house. So yeah, just great courtroom stuff like that. There's no reason I'd ever want to be a lawyer other than what I've seen in this show and My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah. Just to dunk on people. Just to have that one moment where you get to fucking dunk on someone. And then he hits a double dunk when he's like, oh, you think anyone would believe a blind man? And before the sentence is even over, he's fucking throwing sticks off the wall, catching him. Yeah, I would believe that, motherfucker.
It was during this stuff where it's what's the word I'm looking for? Not appeal. When she says sustained, what is it? Objection, Your Honor. And at first she's sustaining him and swatting him down, and then she starts being like, overruled. Keep cooking, Matt, because at some point even the judge flips. That court basically became like Barstool After Dark. Whereas, like, there's no rules anymore. You could just start dumping milk on each other. Spitting might be allowed if you let the other person spit at you. I did not know what the fuck was going on in that courtroom.
It turned into chaos. We were like an inch away from it being Rocky IV and the AVTF chanting for Matt Murdock.
That's right. They come in the courtroom and be like, what the fuck's going on? They have the whole courtroom full of AVTF guys, which, again, you can see in a comic book strip. The governor coming. It was just so much shit. I was on sensory overload with that courtroom by the end.
And then, like, all of that happens, and you're like, I think we're 20 minutes into the episode. I think we got halfway to go. Like, it's crazy how it flips on that. The case is dismissed immediately. Matt, they're like, stay in the courthouse. The governor tells Fisk his assets are frozen, and his assassin lived and is snitching. She's like, the assassin's got a lot to say. Jessica hits a watch yourself, Kingpin. And she throws this stank on Kingpin to make it sound like a slur. And then we get the scene where Bullseye actually does try to take out Kingpin, but he shoots Buck. Chaos. They fucking lock down the building. Kingpin addresses the city while Buck is bleeding out, by the way. It was like, he's just sitting there with Heather. Like, can we get this guy some medical attention? You're the mayor. Like, nobody on the anti-vigilante task force has any EMT training or anything like that. I thought that was crazy.
Our boy Buck, like, Kingpin's didn't shoot him like Gandolfini said he was going to, but he basically was just letting him bleed out. And like, how come they had to use that one lawyer's jacket? There's not another jacket in the crew.
I know, yeah.
I even like that lawyer.
DA, and then he tries to take a Heather. He's like, we should get out of here. It's like, what are you talking about? The building's on lockdown. The protesters are outside. They hate you. You're the guy they hate. Like, I mean, get out. You think you want to just go to like the friggin' Soho House?
I loved our boy Bullseye calling the other Bullseye a poser too. That was great. Yeah. He's through stank. Poser is one of the great insults you can drop on someone that if they have the right vision of themselves, you'll cripple them with that. It's one of the great words that we have in the English language.
Pull them down real quick.
Kingpin, though, dripping stank. And it's like, yeah, we've been calling him Kingpin since like episode 3. We're like, yeah,
I know
he's fully gone, but it was funny hearing someone else say it.
BB publishes a new fake Kingpin video where she does at the end of the video like reveal herself as the person behind all of this. Daredevil suits up as the city picks their sides, and everyone shows up wearing like the official. This was kind of funny. They're wearing like the Marvel Daredevil helmet that they sell to fans in real life. And everyone's like, so are these for sale in the universe too? Like,
so I had the same thought. Again, I wasn't trying to be like, oh, would they really have those for sale? Then I'm like, if this happened in real life and it happens in New York City where everyone's going to try to make $1, the Daredevil mask would 1,000% be for sale.
Yeah, they'd be 3D printed.
Yeah, here's the print. Times Square, you get one for $20 or something like that. They're not hard to find. And if you are of the right mindset, you are probably like, I'm going to wear this Daredevil because I am against Kingpin. And it's almost like a flag saying you oppose Kingpin, right? So I was with you. I was like, that seems kind of crazy. I'm like, actually, no, they probably have like the knit hats for the winter because it gets cold in New York. Then they have the masks for the summer. So I let it slide. I had no problem with it at all.
Yeah. I totally let it slide, especially just for the visual of them all showing up in the red and the fucking masks, in the hoodies where they put the devil horns on them. Like, it was such a cool comic booky visual with the stark, striking colors of everything. Kingpin in the white, the supporters in the red, Daredevil in the black, like all of that rocked.
And also Fisk being in the judge's chair when he was broadcasting, being in the middle chair, I was like, comic book. It's comic book stuff right there.
Yeah. Then we go outside to the anti-vigilante task force where Cherry and Angela are going back with Powell, and Powell starts to fucking load up like he's just going to start mowing people down. And our guy Cole North, who was never really our guy, comes up big and decks Powell with the blunt end of his gun and just lets people in. He's like, all right, fucking here we go.
So when he had the scars and the backstory, I said, that's guy potential, where he's the one who's going to turn good, but you just didn't know if he was actually going to do it because you kind of just get used to these guys just doing horrific things, or maybe he gets killed like that other AVTF agent did last week. And we basically spun Powell out. We evaded him in A New Hope, right? He's there. He's still out there. He's going to get his death, and it's going to be brutal. I wouldn't even have minded. Would you mind it if he got his retribution by the Punisher in a gruesome way? Because I almost.
Oh, no.
I'd like the Punisher to deliver it.
Yeah,
exactly. Give Frank his fatality moment with this fucking clown, and they're using his logo because Frank's not going to be happy about that, right?
No, he wasn't last season when they fucking put him in the chair and they were basically like torturing him.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's right. I think you give that kill to Frank. Maybe it's when he, we see him in the prison with Daredevil at the end. Maybe there's some sort of prison break scene that Frank can aid in, possibly even in Spider-Man, where you could fucking do it there. It'd be weird to kill him in Spider-Man. He's more of a niche Daredevil character, I guess. Like, if you don't watch Daredevil, you don't know who Officer Powell is. But I don't know, I can see it.
I feel like the Punisher Daredevil overlap, especially both being on Disney Plus, will be more. But then people could also be like, yeah, I didn't watch Daredevil. I don't know why the fuck that guy just got that brutal death. I understand it'll probably be season 3. Hopefully Punisher's in season 3 and he could just deliver it himself. But Matt's not even like, let's go. I don't want to say it. That's kind of a pussy when he's Daredevil.
I knew you were going to throw that P word at him. Don't throw the P word at him.
Well, what's the other P word?
He is, you know what? He's an absolute friggin' hound on the town. Maybe it's the classic "you are what you eat" defense for Matt Murdock.
But the other P word's Punisher. So I'd rather have the Punisher take care of it because Matt does his, fucking Batman impersonation. Doesn't kill these.
Fisk demands they open the door and hits a boo, and he just starts fucking murking protesters. I saw someone tweet, this is what the one gorilla versus 100 men argument would look like. They were like, basically this. He's picking people up and slamming them around the friggin' pillars of the building. He's getting his suit all bloody. It looks like the bloody painting by the end of it. At the same time, we see Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and the White Tiger also going on a rampage in the building. They're eventually getting to the point where they're like meeting, and then they meet in the big center of the town hall or whatever it is. Kingpin stands over all of them. Such a comic booky image. And basically hits a, why are you booing me? I'm right. He's like yelling at them like, what is going on? Then they flood towards him. Matt realizes what's happening. He's like, they're going to fucking kill him. He can't be a martyr. He can't be one of these guys that goes down like this. So he runs in, saves him. And then they have an all-time Daredevil Kingpin scene when we're talking acting from Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, of him offering him grace and Kingpin being like, I'm not going to shake your hand. Like, what's going on here? But just that the way they both played that, the way they were face to face, and Charlie Cox still had like the blind look on. It always impresses me that he's able to look through someone in the way that he is. I thought it was so good.
I wanted to use the line, Grace, she passed away 30 years ago, but I don't think you're a National Lampoons guy, right? Aren't you
No,
anti-National Lampoons?
I know that. I know that
Bob.
that's obviously a famous line, but I'm not a Lampoon guy.
Breaks my goddamn heart. I saw someone compare Kingpin's, just murdering registered voters. Let's call it what it is. Murdering fools.
Yeah.
Compared it to like the Vader hallway scene. I'm like, you know what? That's really not too
It was the Kingpin hallway scene. It was.
And again, I've said for the people who haven't watched the Darth Maul thing, they've had a bunch of hall scenes in there where they're kind of trying to recreate the Vader stuff. Seeing it now in Marvel, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? It's everywhere now. But you know what? It is an awesome scene. So I don't mind people kind of paying homage. If you told me that was an homage to the Vader hallway scene, that's cool with me.
I will say, I think if we did the math, I think the Daredevil season 1 hallway scene predates Rogue One.
That's fair.
Was point Vader too. Trying to be Daredevil?
I watched this in the MCU. It wasn't even the MCU back then, right? It was its own independent thing.
Yeah, it was like they were like, it's technically the MCU. Like in Daredevil season 1, they mentioned like they're rebuilding New York, and you're supposed to think it's from the Avengers. The events, but it's at the time it was very like, yeah, it's not really MCU.
I watched this in an MCU adjacent project.
Then we see Matt and Karen finally going on that date, and the cops show up. They arrest him for assault and attempted murder, which it's a little nitpick. I would have liked a little bit more on like what, like I get why they're booking him, but give us a little more on like why Kingpin gets to go away to the beach. And I know everyone's pointing out like Kingpin's on the beach. That's his hell. He tells Vanessa he hates the sand because it goes everywhere and it's coursing. Like, so I understand. And it's like, if you want to hammer home the like, he's a convicted felon. How did he get away with this? Well, people do it in real life. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Kingpin, like, quote unquote, getting away with it. I'm sure he's like in hiding or whatever. But I would have liked just an extra scene telling us why Matt's in prison, but Kingpin isn't.
Oh, and in a sick way, this is Matt's heaven. He likes exposing the corruptness of the fucking justice system and everything that's wrong with it. So he's kind of in heaven being in jail, and Kingpin's in hell being on the beach. So I guess call it what you want to call it. I mean, that's probably not true, but nonetheless, I like to think that.
And we're building up to a classic. It's the guy. I think it's not the guy who wrote Hawkeye. It's like Chip Zdarsky or something. I don't know how to say his name. He's one of the most prolific comic book writers of this era. Wrote a story where Daredevil is in prison, and it's one of the most like loved Daredevil storylines of all time. And the showrunners have been very explicit since the finale is aired, being like, "Yeah, that's season 3. Like we're doing that whole storyline in season 3."
Oh, so it's pretty much confirmed.
Yeah.
How many deep Jose breaths do you think we get if we started asking?
A lot, because I texted Jose after the finale and I was like, dude, I know you're not watching Daredevil, but you got to get on it because they're cooking. That finale was like, I think I said they dropped their nuts on the table with that finale. And then he's like, spoil it for me. He's like, I'm going to watch it, but just tell me what happens. So I let him know everything. And he's like, oh my God, they're going to the prison storyline and everything, which also loops back around to like Spider-Man we saw with the hand in a prison. Didn't completely look like this prison, but Spider-Man's in a prison. Daredevil's in a prison. They could be working together. Daredevil knows more about the hand than anybody. At the same time, if we know they're doing the prison storyline in season 3, is Spider-Man going to the prison but not breaking Daredevil out of the prison? This has me second guessing whether or not Daredevil's in the movie.
I'm starting to just be like, let's let Spider-Man breathe on its own. And I'm not going to expect anybody. I'm just going to expect Spidey, MJ, Norm.
I mean, we already have Hulk and Punisher at least.
Don't even expect them. Even if it's confirmed and they're doing the press runs, don't expect anything. And then when they're screening, you're like, oh, look at that. That's cool. Like if you see the Funko Pops, I don't care. Just like go in and be like, we're getting a Spidey. Because it doesn't feel like that movie's coming out this year to me. I could be completely independent than you and other people who, follow this stuff a little more closely. It doesn't feel like it's happening this year, and it's happening in 2 months technically, right?
Yeah.
It's basically 3, but still, it's fucking crazy to me.
Latest test screening report, by the way, way beyond Marvel's expectations.
Not going to listen to those either, Bob. Stop propaganda my ass.
And then we get the ending of the season, just like season one ends with a Radiohead song. and it's I think it's called Pyramid Song or Pyramid City or some shit like that. Luke Cage returns, which was spoiled for us. The actor who plays Luke Cage posted all over his Instagram. It really hit home though how good this was, because it still got me bumped up when he walked through that door. And I don't even care about Luke Cage, if I'm being honest. I didn't like his Netflix show. I gave it a shot. I hated it. I didn't really like the Defenders. I like the actor that plays him, but like I don't have any connection to Luke Cage. And when he walked through that door, I was like, Luke Cage is here. Let's fucking go. We got Bullseye on the plane with Mr. Charles, which is a very interesting
my bumped up moment
setup for season 3, obviously, where I saw something that Charles people are called like the Whispers or something. It's like Charles Whispers. The actor that plays Bullseye, I think his name's Wilson Bethel, said they're already like working on a new suit for season 3. So people are thinking maybe even a more comic accurate suit. BB is hired by the Bulletin and given a box full of Ben's articles. Heather tries on the Muse mask. So we know where we're going for season 3 there. And yeah, Matt's brought into the cell with a bunch of the anti-vigilante task force agents that he's been fighting against. So that'll be also real good. Just seeing him go on, I'm sure, a eventual cell block rampage. One take with the fucking beard. Everyone's stoked that he's keeping the beard for season 3. This was great. Absolutely great. 10 out of 10. No notes. Great season of television. Amazing finale.
Yeah. Getting all the, you said, the other characters, and that's kind of like, we like when they start putting other toys in the game and you can play with them. Luke Cage come in and you're seeing again my boy Mr. Charles, and then they're like, someone's like, where are they flying to? And the L could be Liberia, and I don't think that's happening, obviously, because I don't think a Bullseye's a big enough character of anything to be associated with Doomsday like that. But nonetheless, again, I'm a Mr. Charles guy. I've become a Bullseye guy ever since the Billy Joel scene. Kind of
was it an L? I didn't even notice the L.
On the, I believe the plane was an L. So
see, I was thinking they were going to Madripoor. My first thought,
that's what a lot of people are saying is Madripoor.
Because that it seems like could have been where Luke Cage was working on his shit. Where it's like, I don't know, you got to bring Madripoor back at some point, because we did all that Power Broker shit fucking 10 years ago. I was 21 when we did that.
By the way, I saw today Bartolo Colon's home run is 10 years old. Today.
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah.
Made me feel so fucking old, dude. There's no way that happened. I think 10 years ago, 2006 is 10 years ago, not 2016. What are we talking about?
I know, and that was one of those home runs that I'm pretty sure I tried to be one of the first people to put that on Vine to tag Barstool to try to get a job. Because at that point, I was like, I think I was the first person to put A-Rod's, was it his, no, it wasn't his 5. It was his 3,000th hit. Maybe was a home run, just like Jeter.
Oh no, yeah, Jeter was the.
I think A-Rod did the same thing.
He might have, yeah.
And I was the first one to put it on Vine. I think Bleacher Report ripped it, put it on their site, and I like changed my Vine name to like Barstool greater than Bleacher Report. And I was like, I fucking got him. I'm gonna get hired by this.
Portnoy's gonna love this.
Yeah. All right. Before we get into the boys, let's tell everyone about the best Mother's Day gift you could possibly get. It's not too late. It's AuraFrames. AuraFrames is a great way to mix things up from the standard Mother's Day playbook. You can add as many photos and videos to this frame as you want. And I say it's not too late because even if they can't ship it in time, you tell your mom there's an AuraFrame on the way and everything is pre-loaded already. You give it to her in this amazing gift box. We've been hyping up the gift box almost as much as the frame itself. But you add a message before it arrives. You could add photos from anywhere at any time. You could either text the photos in or you could download the app. I like the app. It's super easy to use. Reach #1 in the App Store on Christmas Day in 2025. And you can make Mother's Day special with AuraFrames. I might get a couple AuraFrames. Obviously, my mom, my sister, shout out my sister's birthday, May 8th, also a mother. So she's got the double AuraFrame clause in her contract there. Named #1 by Wirecutter. You can save on the gifts moms love by visiting AuraFrames.com. And for a limited time, listeners can get $25 off their best-selling Carver Mat frame with the code Mom's Basement. No apostrophe, no space, just all one word, Mom's Basement. That's AuraFrames.com, promo code Mom's Basement. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout, and terms and conditions apply. But I swear, it's great stuff. We both love our AuraFrames.
AuraFrame on a nightly basis. We get highlights out of it. And then again, you can scroll back. AJ always scrolls back, and it's not only just his pictures. It's a funny moment you had that happened, or cute picture, or whatever it may be. And
I got some pictures of sandwiches that I like on my AuraFrame. It's like a bunch of nice pictures of my dog, nice pictures of me and Lady Fox, and then every now and then it's like a chopped Italian. And I'm like, look at that sandwich.
Folks, you don't have to be a mother to get an AuraFrame. You don't have to buy it for someone else, and get the gift box for yourself. Keep it, and then give someone else a gift with the gift box, or use it as like a little, I don't know if anyone else does this. Like I have like a memories box where it's like back in the day, like movie tickets or whatever you throw in there. Get yourself it's worth the box itself, the price of the AuraFrame. That good of a box.
All right, let's talk about The Boys, season 5, episode 6. Interesting fallout from last week. Before we even get into this episode, a lot of people didn't like the episode last week, Clem, which we both loved. We were like season 1 vibes and everything. So many people were negative that the showrunner of The Boys came out and had this quote where he was like, I don't really know what people expect. He's like, I'm getting a lot of negativity online, and I need to make sure that the final episodes matter by building up the characters and fleshing them out in the episodes that lead up to that. And he said, I don't know if people just expect like a big battle every episode, but I felt like it was like a strong indicator of the negativity for the showrunner to come out with a couple episodes left being like, why is everyone so negative about this? And I'm kind of with him. Like, The Boys isn't really the big battle show. I expect that I sort of expect that in the finale, but I don't even expect like the Stranger Things type thing where we were like, we're getting a big battle in the last episode. Like, The Boys has always been way more about like the political satire, the superhero parody stuff than it has been the big battles. If I think of the best big battles in The Boys, like there's not a lot that come to mind.
No, and I think the way that they shoot it too, I don't know how much it really works. Like, it does work from time to time. This was my thoughts on the season, and I guess maybe why I liked last episode more than a lot of the season, and again, honestly, more than this episode that we just watched. It was like fresh stuff was happening, but I feel like we're just cycling. It's like, are they going to get the V1? And I think there's a lot of just walking around. There's a lot of Lord of the Rings that's happening in this season that's kind of like bumming me out with The Boys, which is the group that we root for. So I could see that, but again, everyone has their own opinions, whatever. It's cool with me.
I've been enjoying the season too. Like, I enjoyed this episode. I do think Starlight hasn't had enough to do throughout the entire season. Like, Starlight was our main character. She hasn't done a lot. Like, Butcher kind of hasn't done a ton. Like, we are doing a lot of it, and I understand it's the chase to the V1, and that's exciting, and I like that. But a lot of the main characters don't have a ton to do, where it's a lot of just closure moments. Like, we get a good one with like Huey and Annie looking at the clouds. That felt like a final season scene where he's bringing up his dad, and you're thinking back to season 1 with Simon Pegg in it and everything. But it just hasn't had the complete vibe of a final season to me, even though I have been enjoying it throughout.
Again, it's like the one thing about the final season, you're like, all right, people are going to die, shit's going to happen. And then it kind of just leaves you sometimes in neutral. And then they do just like take a character out, which I'm sure one of them will talk about a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I do think
3 big deaths so far, right? Like A-Train first episode. That's a big one. Firecracker last episode.
Firecracker, yeah.
And then Noir this episode. Has there been any more that I'm forgetting?
No, and those are all obviously villains right there, or at least on that side of the equation. A-Train was, Soup that was a villain at one point, and like the villain for us, even more than Homelander after what happened in episode 1 of the series. I did see someone say Firecracker got killed by the left wing of the Eagle. Did you see that?
Oh, that's brilliant.
That's pretty funny.
And you know what's funny? They talk about Firecracker early on in this episode, where it's almost like, I still feel bad for her. She's like a human. And the last episode kind of made you feel like that as well when it shows what she's going through. But then people were posting like, did everyone forget that she was like a pedo that was in a relationship with a 15-year-old kid? And I was like, I did forget that. Yeah.
Fair point. Fair point.
Yep. So this opens with the legend himself, Paul Reiser. You see what I did there? The legend.
Well done, Bob. Yeah. Well done.
He's working at a movie theater because he's like, what? You expect me to leave show business? So he's working at a VMC who does the they do the Nicole Kidman ad with
Firecracker
Firecracker in it. That was so good. That was so good. And Mother's Milk shows up and he wants him to help find bomb site, which is another thing where in this episode, it was abundantly clear to me that they were doing like a backdoor pilot thing for Vault Rising, because that guy that plays bomb site, Robbie, shout out Robbie, is in Vault Rising. And when they do the little conversation with him and Soldier Boy, it's like, oh, they're teasing backstory that they're about to show in the spinoff.
Oh man, I have to say, I would hate living in Hollywood and being in that scene and hearing people talk like the way the legend talks. But I just loved hearing him, boobala, and this and that, and in the biz. And I had to be in the biz. So he's working at a movie theater just to be in the biz. But I really like that character. And I guess it's like maybe some of those, I kind of liking the older characters. Maybe it's like, I just liked when we were just dealing with soups that had, and people that had the powers instead of dealing with like the comically ridiculous shit, which, you know, The Boys has some good stuff with that. We're going to have some of the stuff where I'm kind of rolling my eyes later on in this episode, but I really dug that whole character. And I also like, I don't know if this is you, where I'm like, whoa, I get dizzy when I see a character or an actor that is a character in another one of the shows we do on here. So I'm like, Stranger Things Paul Reiser is now in
Bomb Site himself is from Stranger Things. He's Jason, the bully from Stranger Things.
Oh shit, I didn't even notice
season 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I love him as well, though. I think Paul Reiser just has a blast in this role. You can tell he's like having fun with it and, you know, hamming it up and everything. Sage and Homelander, they show them doing their 35th trial of the new V1 where the guy's shitting out of his fucking ass and shitting blood or whatever. They pressure the Deep into doing an anti-fish PSA, which you know that's going to go bad for the Deep right away. And Huey and Butcher, their plan is to put the poison shit in the Febreze thing in the church. And they're like, we're going to lay it in the church. He's going to drop in. They got to sneak into the church. Paul Reiser tells them we got to get to the Golden Geisha before we get to Bomb Site, because that was his lover. So we got to get to her before we get to him. Again, a lot of this episode is people telling you got to go to her to get to him. It's almost like Law and Order SVU, where it's like you got to find the guy to get to the guy, and it gets you to the guy. And that's the season, but very much so this episode as well.
I guess I do wish there was another way they could have maybe gone back to earlier stuff to wrap everything up instead of just meeting new characters. Look, I guess I love the legend guy, but it's like maybe if there were moments where we could have gone back and hit something else up, that would have been a little more satisfying. Been like, all right, who the fuck is Golden Geisha? And that's like 5 minutes of our time, which we have, 2 episodes left now? Is that right?
Yeah. 7 and 8. That's it.
Like it's like they have a lot to wrap up, but I feel like they've just been slowly but surely being like, all right, it's going to get wrapped up at some point. So I guess I can't complain. They'll do it their way. But yeah, very SVU, great show. It's on at 3:00 in the afternoon on a Thursday. You have your time. Thing is, it's not like I'm watching SVU and being like, man, that season of SVU is great. It's like I could just watch one standalone episode. That's the beauty of it. With The Boys, you want to have it where you have this constant, everything's going to hit a climax and going together. So, and by the way, I saw one comment where like, what the fuck happened with Marie Moreau? And I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about that. Now, listen, I think they were like, they saw the numbers probably and were like, well, Gen V really didn't have a real staying power, but we watched it. So it does feel like we did. I don't want to say,
but did they? Because I feel like they filmed The Boys season 5 before that even came out.
That's right, they did. Unless
I still think she's going to show up. They showed like a little Gen V clip in the like previously on in this episode. So I thought we were getting her in this episode, but it's crazy. Like we ended that by being like, she might be the only one powerful enough to take down Homelander herself. And then she meets up with Starlight. Starlight's spent 7 episodes with us this season. She won't even mention the girl.
That's actually a good point. And I do have to say, I think my favorite part of the episode was the deep popcorn bucket, like in the beginning, like shit like that.
Oh,
thing. That's like why I fell in love with The Boys, was stuff like that. And it's probably, there's been some of the stuff it's been around, but maybe that's how I have to kind of look at this show. It's little things like that poke fun at real life. Again, the Kidman thing had me rolling.
Yeah. Sage enlists the help of Ashley's other face to take down Homelander. She has to chloroform Ashley and then play it like that, and then initiates phase 3. She's like, initiate phase 2, initiate phase 3. Kimiko and Legend go to the old people's home where they decide to kidnap Gigi. I'm going to call her Gigi because it's easier to say. When she doesn't help. And Huey and Starlight, that's where we get them staring at the clouds. She's seeing the big bird sucking a dick or whatever. He's like, you're seeing a lot of dicks in these clouds. That was good too. I just liked that scene, him bringing up his dad, because it reminded me of season 1 again.
Yeah, again, I really like I think it was season 1 and 2, and a lot of people say those are like the glory days of The Boys. I just have to ask this, Bob. Have you ever cloud watched before?
When I was a kid, for sure. Yeah. I would look for Star Destroyers and shit up there.
I just do the whole, what does this look like? Now, I don't really see a lot of dicks in the clouds, which I feel like is a good thing. I see a lot of animals out there. Cloud watching is just fucking fun, man. I just wanted to shout that out. Is, you know what, everyone, homework. At some point when the weather gets nice wherever you are, just do a little 5. I'm going to cloud
tweet us a cloud.
For this. Yeah. And
instead of a hashtag this week, just tweet us a picture of a cloud.
Hashtag tweet us a cloud with a picture of a cloud. Yeah. And then we can all see what we want to see in said cloud.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a Rorschach test, but clouds.
Hopefully there's a Star Destroyer cloud. Someone sees one and sends it to you.
Yeah, send us. That's like the golden ticket this week. Send us the Star Destroyer cloud. We see the old bomb site ads on the TV at the nursing home, and then I assume this is what you were talking about, where it's like you go a little overboard again, where they try to leave, and there's the nutsack guy where he's like whipping his nutsack around. There's what I found much funnier was like the white guy that was in the like tribal chief headdress and Hot Flash. Was that the girl with, like, they were funnier than like just like this guy's got long balls again. I know that's kind of just the show The Boys is, but it got to that and I was like, all right, let's get past this.
Maybe if I just watch The Boys, I could be like, all right, we had a guy with long nuts. If I'm also watching all of Gen V, I'm getting all the Gen V like freaks that do the like, I'm going to say private parts and stuff like that. And
private parts humor,
because I'm a fucking parent that says, no touching private parts or, gotta go potty, stuff like that. But it's just like, I saw that and I was like, we have 3 episodes left. Can we just get a little more serious right now, guys? But that's just me. To each their own. If people like,
I'm with you. We're lined up on that. Yeah. Homelander and Soldier Boy find the laptop with the Stormfront video on it. Soldier Boy walks out. He's like, you don't deserve to live forever. We think that's where they split. Might not be. Huey and Starlight find Firecracker's dead body in the church. Sage eventually meets up with the boys. This did feel like big in a way where I know they point out that it's a trope where Sage is literally like, I know, final act, and the villain joins the team of heroes. It's predictable or whatever. But like, it did feel still like, oh shit, we got Sage on our team now. Like, holy fuck. And she hasn't been the best person either. But listen, your enemy is your friend.
And even like the whole, you're doing all this just so you can get peace and quiet and eat, a crunch wrap in your bunker.
Solitude.
But, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. And then, she's saying, that you're committing genocide right now. That's your plan, right, with the virus. So like the whole kind of seeing where each person's coming from, I always find that interesting in comic shows and whatever. But yeah, I listen, I'm also a sucker for calling it out, being a little meta with it all. The villain on the final act, I did
especially in this shit. Like, that's the stuff I love, the like direct superhero parody stuff.
Also, I don't know if it was after this part or before it, or if you had mentioned it, the oil spill with the Deep.
So that's the next thing I have. The Deep were shown the oil spill where they're like pulling the oil out of his gills or whatever. And then Jeremy the fish, he's like, Jeremy, we know it's you, Kevin. We know it's you. And then he goes back to Noir, and Noir hits him with plenty of fish in the sea, but most of them are dead. And like, he's like, you're laughing about a fish genocide? He's like, yeah, I did it. Like, I punched the hole in it to get back at you or whatever. And then the Deep fucking kills him, strangles him, shanks him and everything. The Jeremy the fish scene was probably my favorite scene of the episode. That made me laugh so hard.
I just calling a fish Jeremy is just going to make me laugh every single time. And the Deep just makes me laugh. And again, I wish I had a little more Deep. And there's the ridiculous stuff in the ocean, the kind of weird stuff where he's like coming onto animals, which I guess they did like hammer home with the octopus a bunch. And then he's just such a douchebag in real life with the car and the Limp Bizkit stuff. But I feel like that character it's surface level, but it's still play. There's probably 2 or 3 other
surface level. That was good. That was good.
Also, I gotta say, R.I.P. my duck. R.I.P. my duck, Becky, from Saved by the Bell. That was a fucking traumatic episode with the oil spill when they killed Becky. Did you watch that, Bob? Did you?
Yeah.
And I learned about the evils of the oil industry that day, way back when in the 90s. So I couldn't let Becky go. But the entire thing where even when they're spin zoning the oil, they're like, oil is actually great. It's from the earth.
It's natural. Yeah.
And then you have the commercials, like you said earlier with Bomb Site, where it's like, eat this instead of breakfast, your hunger pills. Yeah. So you'll like lose a couple of pounds of baby fat. All just great parody bullshit. That is the stuff. I will say this. I thought we could have been so much better with the second Black Noir, because the first Black Noir is fucking awesome. And just everything about this new one, I thought they could have either they gone more extreme with what they did. I don't know, but like I just thought
the last episode was the best he ever was, like the BG stuff.
Yeah.
But it was a little too late.
Yep, agreed. So he's gone. Whatever. Take him off the fucking table now too. Whatever. I'm done with him.
So we find out Bomb Site stole the V1 for his lover, the Golden Geisha. But she didn't take it because she is like, I don't want to be around forever watching everyone disintegrate. And that leaves an impression on Kimiko for sure. And she says like her and Starlight feel the same way. They don't want to be vampires. So that's pretty heavy. And I'm thinking immediately, like, is Starlight going to basically have the 11 Stranger Things ending? Or is that where they're going with? I don't know about Kimiko. I feel like she'll probably live. But, like, is Starlight's ending going to be ambiguous? And is that why the showrunner came out and was like, I'm afraid the finale is going to divide people?
Oh, God.
Because he just saw it happening? Yeah.
Did he say that he thinks it's gonna? I didn't hear that part of it.
He didn't say like I think it's gonna divide people. I don't think, but he was like, I'm afraid it might. He said, I'm afraid the finale will make people like retroactively look at the whole show differently. And it's like, don't admit that.
Listen, if you have unused footage, get in that fucking editing studio and you could create your own secret episode after the finale, just like you wanted on Stranger Things, right? Which is hilarious that the Bear came out with the secret episode after millions of, honestly, it was a lot of the younger people, like kids and maybe kids and people in their 20s, were begging for that fucking Stranger. What did they call it again? What was the
Conformity Gate?
Conformity Gate. Like it was a legitimate thing.
They should have just named the Bear episode that. That would have been so funny. Conformity Gary.
Conformity Gary, yes.
Oh, Father catches Starlight and Huey, but not really Huey at first. He just sees Starlight. They start to fight, and then Huey interrupts it with the fucking poison. He's like, are you really going to use that against me? He's like, I fucking would. Homelander shows up at the VMC for the legend. Riser tells him, like, we all get shoved out eventually. All the superheroes get shoved out. It felt like a very meta speech about, like, being a big star and whatnot. And it's like, it hits home more from an actor like Paul Reiser for sure. And he accidentally mentions the Vault Alert necklace. And Homelander then puts together, all right, get me a contact on the Vault Alert. And he's like, you're telling me all this because you're not going to let me live. But Homelander actually does let him live. And I was shocked by that. I really did think we were going to, like, even when he lets him walk out and then says, like, call in the life or Vault Alert thing, I was like, he's going to fucking fly out of that building and then go kill him outside. Like, I just thought there was no way he let him live. But he struck a chord with him.
Yeah, I thought for sure we were getting a laser to the back of his head as he was leaving that door. Yeah. I thought that's what was going to happen. I mean, I don't want to see Paul Reiser's brains right now. I don't need to see this.
Me neither. I really like his character. I was like, I want him to live, which it's such a random niche, like nothing character kind of, but he was so good in this episode.
So when they're doing their like sleuthing and they see the Taco Bell receipts, like Sage was here. And we probably have had a discussion about this because Sage has been around for a little bit and Taco Bell is obviously her thing. I just got to hear Bob Fox's go-to Taco Bell order in the year 2026 because I do think my Taco Bell order has changed over the years. I'd like to hear what it is now for you.
Mine's pretty easy. It's 2 soft tacos. It's a chicken quesadilla. It's the 2 orders of nachos, cinnamon twist things as a little dessert, and Baja Blast.
Are nachos, you're talking just the chips and cheese? Or are you
just chips and cheese. Yeah.
I was gonna say double nacho, like that's a big one.
No, not like the nacho entree. Now, every now and then, my like audible will be, instead of 2 soft tacos, a soft taco, a Doritos taco.
Oh, so you're going plain Jane?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Doritos taco, it's as if another taco isn't on the menu to me now, because
you're exclusively Doritos taco.
Yes. Now I don't buy like 5 of them, and I'm gonna. So this is my order: chalupa, which I think comes with 2 chalupas. Sometimes we'll do chicken, sometimes we'll do steak. Depends how we're feeling. Maybe 1 and 1. We'll do a Doritos taco on the side. We'll do the drink, and then see, the thing about Taco Bell is you could back in the day piece together an absolute fucking masterpiece under $10. That's not the case, unfortunately, anymore. Like the quesadilla is damn near like $10 on its own. I feel like sometimes
it's like $7 or something. Yeah, and it's the thinnest. Like, it's good, but come on,
it's different than the 90s. We'll just say that. We'll leave it at that. I don't know if Taco Bell's a sponsor. It might be one day. Want to sponsor the basement? We are open for business. Chalupa, Doritos taco, like default. I don't even acknowledge the other taco. Again, to each their own. I'm not hating on it. I just love it. And I think they need to get the purple bag Doritos at some point. That's my biggest take. That sweet and spicy Dorito. Oh,
yeah,
perfect.
That'd be awesome.
Taco Bell. So yeah, chalupa, Doritos taco. I'll probably just do some sort of a soda for the drink. And then I guess if I'm going to do something extra there, actually, I would probably go with the cinnamon bites or whatever. Those things are
delicious. So good. The little donut holes. Yeah.
But you eat like 2 of those, you're like, oh man, I need insulin right now. Like, I don't even know. This must be what diabetes feels like. They just re-released a caramel and chocolate empanada. I never had them before.
Oh, I never had that either, but I saw that, and I definitely try that.
Bob, I don't really love the chocolate one. The caramel empanada might be the best fast food dessert I've ever had in my life. And to everyone listening, watching, and my co-host who I'm chopping it up with right now, if you want to just test out, your boy Clem here, I want you guys all, that's your homework. Take a picture of a cloud on your way to
Time out. This includes the McFlurry? Is this what you're saying?
Bob, the amount of dopamine that goes into your brain when you take a bite out.
Oh my God.
It's warm caramel. I thought it had apples. It doesn't have apples. Maybe the old one had apples. It hits. And listen, at its best, I do think the McDonald's shake is the only thing that comes close. The old McDonald's shake, in terms of dopamine dumped into my brain during dessert at a fast food.
All right, I might have to try this tonight, Clem. I might have to tell Lady Fox, cancel dinner plans. We're getting Taco Bell.
Fuck, it's not Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday was Cinco de Mayo this year, which made it even easier, to be honest with you, because we did the Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
But man, Bob, I'm telling you.
We do got to try the Burger King shit, too. They've got the Bounty Hunter meal and the Grogu garlic fries, and they've got a bunch of something ranch cheddar tots, Grogu's ranch cheddar tots or something.
My take on that stuff is they went a little too crazy with it. It's like, if you had just given me a nice aioli on the Whopper, that's all you had to do. You didn't have to go.
Well, it's just a barbecue burger, I think.
I think so. And like,
which I go back and forth with barbecue burgers. I think some are good, some are way too much. Like,
ironically,
I'm a plain burger guy.
I think the best barbecue burger in the fast food game is the rodeo burger. That's what everyone points to at Burger King.
Yeah.
But that's even going up in prices. Everything.
And they did do like a blue cookie shake, I think, which that's probably great.
That's probably again though. Caramel empanada.
Yeah,
hopefully they still have them. It was a limited time thing. They brought it back. And Bob, I'm telling you, the kids went out, because we'll get Taco Tuesday. We started Taco Tuesday recently, and sometimes it's Taco Bell Tuesday when we don't have time to cook tacos. And both of them are just like, I'll have the tacos and just make sure you get those empanadas. They are so good.
So to end the episode, Bomb Sight arrives. They have a 3-on-1 with Bomb Sight. And then Soldier Boy arrives. So those two fly off during the fight, which was a good way to have them kind of spin out and not have to deal with this right now. And this is where they do the little, again, backdoor pilot backstory. I hated you for this, that, next thing. And then Soldier Boy, in exchange for the V1, removes his immortality. The timing could not have been worse for when he removed the immortality. It's like when we do an episode, and then it'd be like if Marvel drops the Doomsday trailer when we hit.
They drops Doomsday, actual Doomsday.
Literally, yeah, because he takes away the immortality that he's had since God knows how long, the 50s or whatever, earlier maybe. And then Homelander just arrives. He spawns in that instant. And I was just like, oh man, that's tough. But he shows up, and Soldier Boy straight up gives him the V1 this was WrestleMania 17 all over again. I don't know why Hulk Hogan is, or I don't know why Steve Austin is shaking hands with Vince McMahon. And he says, this is what Clara would have wanted, Stormfront. So what happened in Soldier Boy's brain? Is this actual what he's like? There was a change of heart, or is this some kind of trick? Is there trickery? Is there a finger poke of doom going on? What's happening?
It's so funny you said that too, because I was like, you'd almost hear JR be like, I can't believe it. I can't. That was going through.
That was me. You bastard! You bastard! Oh, son of a bitch!
I mean, it's just that's his mom. That's Homelander's mom. He loved her. Soldier Boy.
Now they're saying that though, but Homelander shot himself out of his mom. No.
So this is the thing, Bob. This show has been going on so it's like with the wrestling angle that just has gone on too long, and it kind of like makes a lot of stuff not make as much sense. That's just you just have to accept. That's how I feel with, and I think that's what a lot of the Boys fans are probably upset about. It's like we've kind of just been in motion. We're at the point where Huey isn't even like important anymore, and he was the entire fucking series at first, right? And listen, they went to Homelander, and he became like the lead guy for a bunch of it. And I do think some of it was good, but I think like it's just. Again, I'm with you. I have no problem. I was confused. I also was like, oh, he's going to give it to him, and it's he loved the mom. So
here we are. I think it's a better story. Like if that were his mom, I think that's a cooler story where it's like, oh my god, he was fucking his mom, and like Soldier Boy didn't know, and like that's insane. And that also like feels like the castle's crumbling on Homelander if he finds that out. So I'm sure you can retcon the original thing, but like. It would have to be a retcon because they said he used his fucking lasers and split his mom in half and flew out of her or whatever. Like, I don't know. I think the Stormfront story is better, but you would just have to do some work on the retcon.
What if his mom was the Emperor?
I think I know the answer to this one, but of the Boys and Daredevil, who do you think won the week?
I think the wild card Fisk. Yeah. Wildcard Wilson.
It was a Daredevil week for sure, and it's hard again to go up against the finale or whatever. I think it was the same thing when we had these shows going up against that insane Invincible penultimate episode.
Yeah,
but it was pretty easily Daredevil for me this week. Again, I like this episode of The Boys. It just was nowhere near the level that Daredevil brought us to.
So Boys is penultimate next week, right?
Yep.
And then we have Punisher. So that'll be the main event next week, right?
I know. So next week it's gonna be loaded. So next week we're gonna do Punisher and the Boys, and that's gonna be like episode 499.75. And then the week after that, we're gonna do the Boys finale as its own episode, which will be episode 499.9. And then we'll do The Mandalorian and Grogu as episode 500. Now, I will say, you and me are seeing The Mandalorian and Grogu next week. Can't say where, can't say when. Me and Clem will have seen it at this time next week, though. So we're not going to put out the episode before it actually comes out. But when you guys leave the theater on Thursday, May 21st, after seeing The Mandalorian and Grogu, our episode will already be ready for you to listen to on the drive home or whatever.
May 21st just so happens to be the day I was born. So my birthday.
Oh my god! It's the birthday episode too. Oh my god!
We'll be recording it early though. Won't be on the birthday, obviously, but it'll be ready for you guys. And I absolutely love when we have the time where we can take our time with it, get our thoughts out, and have it just ready, so you guys don't have to wait until whatever. It'll be just ready, waiting for you.
I love it. All right, we'll talk to you next week for more. Not more Daredevil, actually. I almost said more Daredevil. We'll talk to you next week for the Punisher and the Boys.